Hey, what's going on, family? Our first episode of season 2 drops September 4th at 7 a.m. Wherever you get your podcast from, make sure you check out season 2, first episode of Tough Conversations podcast. This series and this season has been dedicated to one theme. I don't want to let y'all know what it is right now, but you will find out when you go check out the first episode of season 2. Tell a friend and check us out, 7 a.m., September 4th. Beat me there, don't meet me there. Let's get it. Welcome back, family. Yo, listen. Let me get through this intro first. Even though I don't need an introduction, I'm going to still give myself one. You feel me? Family and friends, everyone out there in podcast land, my name is Dave Smith. That is DAYSMI to the double F Smith. And this is Tough Conversations podcast, a podcast where me and my guests discuss tough topics and different points of view to understand the issues at large. This podcast is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as well as YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram at ToughTalk_PDT to interact with us in our weekly polls and get more information on the guests and topics we'll be talking about throughout the season. I ain't even gonna say it. Listen, yo, what's up, man? It's been a minute since I've been back in it, but we is back, and that's a figgity fact. Let's go. Hey, I am geeked about the second season number 2. Let's go. Season number 2 of Tough Conversations podcast. Man, I feel like the last episode was so short yet so far away, right? We ended I think on just short of 10 episodes last season, because I had some things that took place and went on and stuff, and I was gone for a minute, so I had to end the season early. But I promised to end this season with a full 10 episodes, and maybe even more, you know, depending on how things go, maybe even more episodes. But we have a theme for this season, so I just want to stick to that theme and then kind of veer off into next season stuff when next season comes. Doing a lot of new things on the podcast, trying some new things out. I messed around, and man, let me tell y'all. So I messed around and had to like update my computer. So when I updated my computer, it crashed all of the files that I had, except for a few that I had in the cloud. And I really had to re-download everything I used in order to do the podcast. And so when that happened, man, it was crazy. I had to re-download the recording software and just all types of stuff. So y'all bear with me, man. I'm a little, you know, still getting back into the groove of things, and it's just weird, you know, doing episode 1. I feel like I'm like new to podcasting. Like I didn't do a whole season of podcasting already. But, you know, I'm calling this my rookie year. You know, this is my rookie year of podcasting. So, you know, hopefully I put up some good numbers. Speaking of rookie year and good numbers, I want to send a huge shout out to the top three guests that I had on last season. I want to give them a shout out because they were the 3 most viewed, played episodes throughout the entire season. You know, I know y'all love hearing me talk, but I had 3 people that came on. And I'm not biased against these people because they came on. I'm just, you know, that's what happens when you get guests on. But I want to first and foremost send a shout out to my pops, pastor of Life Enhancement Christian Ministries, Pastor Michael Smith. Shout out to him because his episode was probably number 3, top 3. So he was number 3 in that. And our episode was discussing the church and Christianity. So big shout out to the fact that episode really touched a lot of people and really got, you know, into it really ventured off and, you know, touched a lot of people and was able to get people understanding as it pertains to Christianity and the church. The number 2 spot belongs to Miss Courtney Talley. Big shout out to Coco. Thank you so much for stopping in. Our episode about mental health was absolutely amazing. Really great to have her on. and just have her as an expertise when it comes to just therapy and mental health and all those things. So I really appreciate her. Once again, another episode that reached a lot of people, that got a lot of people involved with understanding mental health, and also just really helped open that conversation about mental health, you know. So thank you to her. And to the number one spot, you know, if I had a drum roll, number one spot was my brother, my best friend, brother Tim B. Shout out to brother Tim B over there at brother Tim B on Instagram. Over there, Pro Kingdom Clothing as well, Pro Kingdom Apparel. Shout out to my brother. Thank you so much for joining me last season. Our episode was great. That was one of the top highly viewed and watched and listened to episodes of last season. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to those who support your peoples. Support your peoples. If your peoples is on this podcast, support them. And that's a lot of where, you know, these top episodes came from, was just the support of, you know, people's family, friends, and things of that nature. Stopping by, enjoying the conversation, and spreading the word. So I appreciate y'all spreading the word about TCP. We're going to have some great conversations this season. And I look forward to actually having those top 3 back on this season. So be on the lookout this season. You'll have more details. I know I didn't tell people about what the season theme was going to be, but those guests will be back on for this season. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to brother Tim B. Shout out to Coco. Shout out to my pops, Pastor Smith. Thank y'all so much again. It was a blessing to have y'all on, and I can't wait to see y'all on within the new season. Let's go. But like I said, we're doing a lot of new things on this season. You know, I'm trying to, you know, get better at what I do in terms of podcasting, in terms of speaking and things of that nature. So, you know, I didn't tell anybody what the theme of this season was going to be yet, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, you know, we got to pay some bills real quick. So first and foremost, I want to shout out to Pro Kingdom Apparel, my brother Tim B, over there at Pro Kingdom Apparel, revamping things right now, getting things ready for a relaunch of Pro Kingdom Apparel. So y'all go on Instagram, follow the page at Pro Kingdom Apparel. You can't misspell that. If you know how to spell Pro Kingdom and Apparel, there you go. Follow Pro Kingdom Apparel on Instagram and stay up to date to all the news that they're dropping about the new apparel that's coming soon. Cop yourself a shirt. Support. That's what we do around here. If we really family, if we really friends, support. So shout out to brother Tim B. We taking off. You already know it, brother. Want to give a huge shout out to HyperX for the microphone. As y'all know, I talk about HyperX a lot. Really want to send a big shout out to them for the microphone, and big shout out to Soundcore by Anchor for the headphones. Soundcore by Anchor and HyperX have been one of my favorite electronic devices to use in terms of podcasting and just computer stuff, because all that stuff is like genuine. Like, it's really good. Like, man, I'm telling you, these headphones, I've had them for probably like the past 3 years, and I have not had any issues with them. And this HyperX microphone that I'm speaking to you on right now, this HyperX microphone I've been using for like the past year, and this thing is awesome, bro. Like it's so much you can do with it. You can change the color of the microphone on the inside and things of that nature. And you guys will see that once I do like video episodes and things of that nature. And you can mute yourself. You can turn the headphones volume up and down. You can turn the microphone volume up and down. And also it has like its own software to where you can do all of that inside of the software too, through the computer. So check out hyperx.com and cop yourself a microphone if you're thinking about getting into podcasting, or maybe you're like a gamer or something and you want to, you know, get yourself a nice microphone. This boy was like, you know, a pretty penny, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So shout out to them. And That's really all. That's really it. If you got something going on, a business or your friend's business or something like that, let me know. Send them to my DMs and I will shout them out. You know, I don't get paid to do podcasting. I just want to tell people that I don't get paid to do podcasting. So I can really do kind of sort of whatever I want on here in a sense. But with that being said, like I like shouting people out, getting people's stuff out there, getting people's business out there and putting folks on. So if you have a business, if your friend got a business, if they good at what they do, if they got quality products, send them to me and I will shout them out, get them their own little segment on the podcast. You hear me? So appreciate that. Next, now we want to get to the nitty gritty. So now, 10 minutes in, I done wasted so much time. I'm just kidding. But I want to introduce this new season to you guys. What we're gonna be talking about this season. So this season, I was kind of going up and down about this topic because I really wanted to deliver a topic that was going to be one, like draw the people in, but also I wanted to talk about a topic that like people would actually want to hear about in terms of like listening to podcasts. And I wanted to find a topic that was actually tough to talk about. So with that being said, this season has an entire series that's dedicated to it that's called Dating, Relationships, and Somewhere in Between. Yo, insert screams here. For real. So we're gonna get into some tough conversations this season about dating, relationships, and somewhere in between, because some of y'all are somewhere in between. Some of y'all in a situationship, and we're gonna talk about that. Why are you in a situationship? Why do you want to stay in a situationship? Does it make sense to be in that situationship? Are you dating? Why are you dating? Who are you dating? What are you looking for while you're dating? Are you in a relationship? Yada, yada, yada. We're going to talk about all that. So, I just wanted to make sure that I let y'all know finally what the theme was for this season's series. I know I have been putting that off for a minute, and when I dropped the video on Instagram, if y'all not follow me on Instagram at toughtalk_PDT, what are you doing? Go follow me on Instagram. It ain't that hard. Go do it. Go do it. toughtalk_PDT. I dropped a couple of videos just for the pre-release of this new season coming up, just to get y'all hype about it and get y'all back drawn in. So I'm glad that those who follow me watched it, and those who were anticipating what the topic was, now you finally know. So stick around throughout the season. I think I'm gonna do a couple of like actual Instagram live videos of some of the topics, so that way we can get like some real feedback and thoughts on concerning dating, relationships, and being somewhere in between. But as y'all already know, before we get into the topic of the conversation of the podcast, first, we like to talk about the post of the week. And if you are just now joining me and don't know what the post of the week is, well, I'm glad to share it with you. So the post of the week is just whenever I'm scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media I'm on throughout the week, whatever post that I see that intrigues me or I would like to get other opinions about or voice my own opinion about, I bring that post to you guys on the following week's episode and I discuss it, and then I ask y'all to bring me y'all opinions to my DMs. Now, do y'all listen and actually bring me y'all opinions? Sometimes. Sometimes. It's so lonely over here because y'all don't be listening, man. No, seriously. But I would really appreciate that, throughout the season when we do the post of the week, be in tune, be a part of the conversation, and give me your honest feedback. If you listening to this right now, after I'm done talking about my opinion and what the actual post of the week was, and I'm going to do better too, because I do forget to post the actual post that I've seen as the post of the week on my Instagram story. I will get better at that as y'all get better at letting me know how y'all feel about the post of the week. So we got a deal? Deal. All right. I appreciate you. So, like I said, the post of the week is just whatever social media that I'm on throughout the week. The following week, I will discuss the post of the week on the next podcast, and we'll discuss it, and y'all give me y'all thoughts and opinions about it. So I came with like this little rap too about the post of the week, but I'm not gonna share that just yet because I gotta perfect it, and I don't want y'all to, if y'all gonna roast me, I want y'all to roast me for something I think is good, and then I can just debate y'all about how good I thought it was and how you a hater. But right now it ain't there yet. So, but so the post of the week is from Facebook because I was scrolling on Facebook this past week. And I'm just going through ideas. I think this past week I wrote like 5 episodes already for the season, and I was just like, I needed inspiration. I'm not gonna lie, because I was just like kind of having writer's block, just trying to figure out what I was gonna discuss, and I was setting up guests and all types of stuff. So, and still in the works of setting up guests. So if you haven't got a call from me and you're supposed to be a guest, just know I haven't forgot about you. So, the post of the week is from Facebook, and I won't tell the dude's name who posted it, but it says, I expect you to clear your roster as soon as I enter the picture. Now, for those who don't know, a roster means like, when you got some shorties lined up, right? we just gonna keep it real. When you got some shorties lined up, you out here dating or what have you, what the good brother is saying here is that when he enters the picture, when he starts becoming the person that you dating, he wants you to clear your roster. Push everybody to the side, clear the bench, as they say. And, to be honest, I have several feelings about this. I guess not several, but I have my thoughts about this. So in the dating aspect, as we'll talk about in today's specific topic, when you clear your roster, so this is my thoughts about it. Number one, for me, it's hard to have a roster. One, because, bro, I am so sometimes just singularly focused on one person that I will take myself out of the game with other people immediately, because it's just I be having too much going on in my personal life with work and all these other things that to even focus on 3, 4, 5 different people, it's just dog. And I had to learn that years ago. I don't see how dudes do it. I cannot be talking to 5 different people at the same time, because that's 5 different good mornings, 5 different good nights, 5 different just moods that you got to deal with off and on. And it's just my brain, I'm gonna just be honest, my brain can't handle all that. Bruh, one of y'all gonna get talked to more. I'm gonna pick my favorite and I'm gonna just rock with you. That's just what it's going to be. And especially as you get older, you realize that if this person don't work out, all right, cool. I know they tell you have apples, make sure you have some more apples in your basket, or however the saying goes. I can't think right now, but people always use that, whatever. That's cool if you really care about that. But for me, I'm the type of person where I don't really mind being alone. So if the situation don't work out with one person, okay, that's fine. All right, it just didn't work out between me and you. Cool. It's never to me that serious about I cleared my roster for you and you was a waste of time. It's never that deep. Now on the flip side, for those who have rosters and all that stuff, they may feel some type of way. Like I said, they may feel okay, I cleared my roster for you. You wasn't it. Nah, I just wasted time with you when I could have been continuously building with somebody who was already on the team or who was already on the roster and whatever. But it's really a matter of opinion and how you look at things, where you at in your life when you look at these things. I gave how I felt towards it. Somebody may disagree with me and be no, have your roster. I'm not gonna clear my roster for you when you come into the picture. Be that as though it may, to each his own. Everybody has their own opinion, whether it be right or wrong. You may not agree with me, I may not agree with you, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know what you can handle. And I know for me, I can't handle talking to two people at the same time. Like, it's just not. I'm gonna just pick the person who I really like talking to and conversating with, and then I'm gonna just roll out with that. If we don't, you know, continuously hit it off and we don't work out, then that's fine. Like, that's perfectly cool with me. But I'll just go back to the drawing board, or I'll just be by myself, like, not worry about it. But once again, it's all up to opinions and how you feel. But I do think this is a good post. Like, I really did like seeing this post, because I like seeing this post has like 3,000. Once I screenshotted it, it was at 3,474 shares and 274 reactions on Facebook. So a lot of people had commentary about this, and I won't, read all the comments or whatever, what people were saying in the comments, but it was a good point. A lot of people don't think about, the fact that, especially when you come into somebody's life, like, you don't know, like, say you walk up to, as a man, you walk up to a chick and you speak to her, hey, how you doing? Yada, yada, yada. Y'all exchange numbers and go forward. You don't know how many people she talking to at that point. And same vice versa. If you're a woman, you don't know how many, chicks this dude talking to. And so at the end of the day, it's kind of a get in where you fit in type of situation. But when you do enter the picture, for some people, they do have an expectation that, if we just talking, you just talking only to me. Or the flip side of that is, if you enter the picture, you just another person on the roster. That's it. If we hit it off, we hit it off. If not, then, I got backup plans. To each his own in that regard. So once again, I'm going to post this to the Instagram story. And y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you expect somebody to clear their roster once you enter their life? And will you do the same and vice versa? That's the question. So I appreciate y'all joining me for the post of the week, and I appreciate y'all in advance for letting me know how y'all feel about the post of the week when I drop this episode. So don't miss out on it. Now shifting over to the topic of today. And the title that I'm giving this episode is called Time to Date. That's kind of why I pulled that post of the week, because I've realized too last season how unfair it was to utilize as many posts as I see during the week. I know I can find a post that's related to the episode in which I'm doing, and I kind of seen how unfair it was, especially to the guest, to kind of have them focused on a topic and then give them a topic that's unfocused from the overall episode. So I'm gonna try to find and do better this season in finding topics for the post of the week that relate to the overall topic of the episode. So I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning. It's a learning curve. I got it. I hear y'all. I receive it. So we gonna get it together as a family. But today's episode, like I said, is called Time to Date, and this topic really is based around whether or not you feel like you're at a stage in which you can date. And I really did my research on it. Like, I was researching all types of facts, news articles, things, and I really did my homework. That's why I said this week was just really, really hectic. These past 2 weeks was just really, really hectic in terms of trying to prepare for these episodes going forward, because I hate giving half done work to anybody, and I hate showing that I really haven't studied my topic. So y'all gonna always hear me come out with some stuff that's like, very well researched. I may not speak on it as well as I should, but I will try better during the season to do that. So once again, this topic is really based around, if you feel like you're at a point where you can date, things to think about while you're dating, and, just get into those tough questions. So the first thing I want to discuss is dating after being single for a long time, because I've thought about this and I've never really like outwardly thought about it. Like, I thought about it like internally, but I've never outwardly thought about it in terms of like having conversations with people about that being an issue when you go into the dating realm and dating after being single for so long. Because technically, like when you're dating, you're still single. Like you're not like in a relationship. You're just dating. But you get out of a relationship, you single, and then there's like that brief. There's like for some a brief period or some a longer period of time where you're single and you don't have to worry about, maybe you're just focusing on yourself and what you like and getting to understand yourself and getting to understand what makes you tick and why the relationship previously didn't work out and why, what things could you do better? What things could that person have done better? And so on and so forth. So then you either briefly or come out of that long-term mindset and you feel like you got yourself together to a certain extent. And so you try to hop into the dating realm. And I feel like it is a challenge. It's definitely a challenge because you are going from a mindset of just being all about you to a certain extent. So now you have to figure out what makes another person tick. And you have to figure out what makes, what kinks does this person have in terms of like, not kinks like freaky type stuff, but kinks in terms of like, what is unbalanced about this person, or what is balanced about this person? What weaknesses do they have? What strengths do they have? And so that can be hard to navigate sometimes because you just like, after being single so long and just only worrying about myself, now I have to come out of somewhat of a selfish mindset and like be vulnerable to an extent. Not saying fully vulnerable, but, put yourself back out there. So that's one of the challenges I thought about. And sometimes being single for so long maybe can be looked at it as a hindrance. But I guess it really just depends on the person that you're dating or the persons, the people that you're dating in that regard. Because if you explain your story and like why you've been single for so long and what you were doing in that time, they can understand you better by kind of accommodating you in that thought of why you were single for so long and what you were doing between being single and dating so that you can be, a better person for the next person that you date or whatever. Because we all come from, whether we've been in relationships for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, so long and so forth, we come out of those situations and we have questions. We have questions about why things didn't work out. What things could have been done better, And so when you give yourself time to really think over that stuff and learn from the situation, then once you get back into the dating realm of things, you have to take those things in consideration, and you're vulnerable to an extent to let somebody else know, like, this is what I went through, but during my time of being single, like I was really thinking about these things, and I was seeking like mental health professionals to like help me with this area of my life and things of that nature. So it's something to think about. One of the things that I was reading about in my studies, I was on a website called the Mind Journal, and they were offering 23 facts about dating. And so one of the things, and I only read a few of them because reading all 23, boy, we'd be here for a hot minute just trying to break those down. But I'll read like the top 5. So the top 5 were that most couples are willing to enter an exclusive relationship after 6 to 8 dates. So they're feeling like, and I guess what they've seen through their research is that most couples are willing to enter exclusive relationships after that 6 to 8, maybe 6 to 8 month mark, depending on, time schedules and things of that nature. Because when you talk about dates, they're not like back to back to back to back to back. Sometimes with people's schedule, they can extend out to some months or some weeks. It could be longer, it could be shorter. But with that, it also comes a thought of how things are being built on, what roadblocks are being hit, what roadblocks are being achieved and being, learned from and things of that nature. So, although that is, what these people have thought about and researched, that may not be your situation, but it's something to consider. The number two is most common time for breakups is around 3 to 5 months. So in just the dating realm, most times when people just and I won't say breakup because that's to me, I feel like relationship terminology. But most common times when people stop talking altogether is around the 3 to 5 months. And I feel like 3 to 5 months could be right on par with being the truth. Also, it can, within 3 to 5 months, I feel like you can see certain things that either you like or don't like about a person. Also, I would say that maybe 8 months, or probably not 8 months. I think, I guess I could say 3 to 5 months is like when you really start to see if you really looking. And that's the thing a lot about dating too, is that when you go into it, your mindset has to be in a certain place, and you have to understand what you're dating about. And we'll talk about that here in a little while, but I feel like that is on par. 3 to 5 months is when most people just probably call it quits. Some people say 3 to 5 weeks. Some of y'all is out here like UPS. You got 3 to 5 business days to get your stuff together, or it's done. Like, that's it. And so I don't blame you for that. That's your truth. You living in it. But we just got to understand how the dating pool works. For number 3, it says that it takes between 12 to 14 dates for couples to be willing to. I'm not going to read that. Okay. We're not going to talk about that. 12 to 14 dates before couples are willing to trade house keys. First of all, bro, are we talking about dating? This is dating. Bro, listen, if we're not dating and you're getting a house key from me. First of all, hey, listen, I don't care if we've been on 12 dates or 21 dates. Listen, the house key comes when we get married. Like, what is you talking about? Once again, this has been researched by people, so clearly this does happen, but to each his own. Well, maybe y'all can give me y'all thoughts and opinions on that. But 12 to 14 dates. Listen, I know folks who giving out house keys on the first day. No, I'll just play. I'm not gonna put nobody. All right. That's crazy. That is crazy. I said I was gonna read the first 5, but I think number 3 just really sat me where I needed to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off that, because that was wild. Listen. We're trading house keys, 12 to 14 dates. Listen, the way the economy is set up right now, 12 to 14 dates. The way some of these dates I hear is costing, you could have bought a house. Like, trading house keys, we could have bought a house. Like, I can't even say nothing more. We could have bought a house. That's it. Like, I'm going to just leave that where it's at. Wow. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is dating after a breakup, traumatic or otherwise. So when you hop back in that dating pool, right? And I was discussing a little bit earlier how sometimes we go through long-term seasons of being single, or we have brief moments of being single. Either one, we try to learn something, depending on the type of person you are. You try to learn something from the breakup or whatever. But nonetheless, no matter what took place during, whatever takes place during that time, you always have to think about, how the relationship was that you're coming out of. And that kind of navigates you to determine how long you need to allow yourself to, because you do need to allow yourself time to heal from whatever relationship that you're leaving out of, for whatever reason that you left the relationship or the relationship left you. Put it like that. So when you're dating after a breakup, I would say be very, very careful. And especially make sure that you understand that you don't need to rush into this thing. Like, because a lot of us look at the clock in terms of like where we're at in our lives, how old we are, and where we're at in our careers. And we're like, okay, so this relationship didn't work out. Boom, I'm gonna just go ahead and hop into the next relationship or date or start dating immediately after this relationship because, okay, I'm 30s this, I'm 20 this, I'm 40 this, whatever the case may be. And you know, my clock is ticking. I gotta get it. I gotta find this wife. I gotta find this husband. I gotta, whatever the case may be. But then we jump into situations and we jump freely out here into the dating scene, and we don't know what's on the other side of that door for anybody involved. For us who maybe are trying to heal from the relationship that we left, or understand where things went wrong in that relationship. And we don't understand how the dating pool is because we've been in this relationship, especially if you've been in a relationship for a long time. You know, you may see kind of sort of how it is, how singles handle being single while you're in a relationship, but you truly don't know. Like, you truly don't know until you're a single out here being single and you realize, because like a lot of people here, and I was kind of sort of talking to one of my best friends the other day, and just about how people always say that, you know, the dating pool has pee in it. And I think that is so hilarious. But at the same time, it's just like there's not really, like, we say that there are more fish in the sea. So why are we fishing for people in a dating pool instead of fishing out into the sea where there is more available to us? You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of thought process I have to bring to that phrase that people use, because it's just like there's more accessible to you if you get out of the wrong pool. And a lot of us, when we get out of these relationships, when we get out of these situationships, because let's just be honest, some of us be in situationships, when we get out of these situationships and relationships, we don't realize that, and we hop back into the dating pool. We're like, oh, this ain't where I want to be at. Yeah, because you're supposed to be finding something bigger and better, and really you need to be finding yourself before you hop back into that dating pool. So it's different avenues of approach that you need to take when you hop back into the dating world, when you hop back into that dating pool. You need to make sure that, you know, that your mind is right in order to hop back into that dating pool. And you need to reflect on the past situation a little bit, not live in it, but reflect on it. What happened in my last relationship? What happened the last time I was dating? What happened the last time, you know, such and such, when I was dealing with such and such and so on? What do I need to do to look out for myself in terms of what I need to look for and what I need to make sure I'm getting out of dating? Because if you are a spiritual type person, like, you want to make sure that the person you're dating is going to pour into you spiritually. You know what I'm saying? And I recommend that for everybody. Like, somebody needs to be, whoever you dating, like, needs to pour into you spiritually. And if you're not dating somebody who's pouring into you spiritually, like leading you down the right road in terms of spiritual, then like it ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. You fill in the blank. I'm not gonna do the work for y'all. Y'all fill in the blank. If this person not giving you what you need spiritually, then it might be time to, and it is time to just be like, all right, this ain't that. So, and like I said about those avenues of approach, you gotta think smart. It's too much going on in the world for you to just be willy-nilly going out here, going on, you know, this day with this person, especially, and I didn't even get a chance to finish that last sentence because I would just want to get this point out, especially for the women. Please, it's a lot of weirdos out here. I'm gonna just keep it 100. It's a lot of weirdos out here. Dudes be weird, big weird. Please, before you hop back out here in this dating scene, vet these dudes. Vet these dudes. It breaks my heart so much to hop on social media and to just hear about, women getting themselves involved with dudes who are straight weirdos. Please vet these dudes. Tell somebody about who you going on a date with. Make sure it just ain't just only you that know. Like, tell somebody who really care about you, care about your well-being. Vet these dudes first. And I'm going to keep saying that. Vet these dudes first. Fellas, I'm going to say it for y'all too. Vet these women first. Some of these women out here in this dating pool be into some schemy, grimy type stuff too. Vet these women first. I'm going to just be honest. Stop thinking with your pants. Stop thinking with your pants and think about the longevity. Think about the longevity. This Tough Conversations podcast. I'm going to say it. Stop thinking with your pants and think about the longevity for both genders. So, avenues of approach, that's really what I want to talk about when it comes to dating after a breakup. Because some of us are so vulnerable after that breakup because, maybe some traumatic things happen, or maybe we are still hurt emotionally and all these things. You have to think about the fact that, you're in this vulnerable state and you can be, you could find yourself possibly ending up in a situation that's way worse than the situation that you're leaving. So if you don't think about those things and you just willy-nilly hop into the dating scene, you might just end up back in the same situation that you were in, minus the commitment. Or you might have the commitment and all of the manipulation. You don't want that. I don't want that for you. So let's be more concerned and cognizant of our avenues of approach as we date after breakups, after failed relationships, after failed dating, whatever the case may be. Let's think about those things, right? And really, you have to think about foundation. When you think about that, you have to think about foundational dating. Like, do you have a goal in mind when you're out here dating? Are you thinking about, like I said, longevity, or are you just out here because you don't want to be alone? Like Aaliyah said. I love that song. I just want to throw that out there too. I just want to throw that out there, man. Aaliyah, listen, I'm going to get off topic real quick. Aaliyah, when she came up with that song, right? I just want to say that I miss Aaliyah. Nah, listen. Aaliyah was that girl, okay? Getting back on topic. Had a moment. But yes, so you have to think about dating with a foundation, dating with a plan in mind. Are you just willy-nilly out here dating because you don't want to be alone? Or are you dating because, you have longevity in mind? You have, the family in mind, the kids in mind? Do you have, goals in mind? And are you looking for that? Because a lot of us don't. A lot of us don't go out here and have those things in mind. Because when you look at the situation of the person that you're dating, they don't even match what your ambitions are. You just dating just to date. You just talking to this person just to talk to them. Why? Why waste your time? Why waste their time? Why waste the effort? Date with a foundation. Date with morals. Date with things in mind to where you can navigate against. And I heard this on tonight's conversation, and I have to use this. Date with the understanding of those who are eligible and those who are interested. I heard on tonight's conversation, because I listen to very few podcasts, and I was listening to tonight's conversation. If y'all don't know what tonight's conversation podcast is, please go check them out. Ace Metaphor and Trip are probably two of my favorite people on there. I like Keita Rose. I don't always agree with some of her thoughts on things, but I respect their opinions. And Trip and I think Ace Metaphor was talking about those who are eligible versus those who are interested. And it's a difference. And you never really think about that when you're out here dating. Is that There is a difference between those who are eligible and those who are interested. In effort shows, the things that they do show, and the things that they say show. So you have to think about that when you think about foundational dating and dating with a goal in mind, right? And so the last thing that I want to hit on, dating with substance, because it all goes together with dating with a foundation, is that you have to date with substance. What does this person bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Do you have baggage that you should have left where it was? And are you bringing that to the table? And if you are bringing that to the table, how do you think it's a good time to date? Do you think with the things that you're holding on to, do you think that now should be the time that you date, or should you give yourself more time? Because once again, we go back to the thought of, am I dating because I don't want to be alone, or is it because I'm dating for someone to be an addition to, the life that I'm continuously building for myself? Because once you stop dating somebody or break up with somebody, your life ain't over. Like, you still have more life to live. And it would be very sad for you to think otherwise. So think about that. Think about the fact that you need to date with substance. You need to date somebody with substance. Like I said earlier, date somebody who's pouring into you spiritually. Date somebody who's pouring into you physically. And I don't mean physically like y'all thinking. I mean physically like, they got your well-being in thought. Because that's the only way you make it to the relationship phase. Dating is like high school sports. You trying out for the team. You have not made it yet. I don't care what nobody say. Dating is 100% that. You are trying out for the team. And not everything needs to be tried out. Once again, Tough Conversations podcast is going to talk about it. Oh, this season I'm getting real. So you don't need to try out everything to see if the person made the team to know if they're good for you or not. I'm going to say that one more time because that was heat. You don't need to try out everything for the person to make the team just so you know that they're going to work out. Pause for effect. With that being said, you need to make sure that you're dating with substance, somebody who's pouring into you spiritually, physically, emotionally, because those things matter before you hit the relationship phase. If I can't teach you nothing, why would you want to be with me? If I don't pique your interest in terms of if you're a person who's an intellect and you like somebody who gets intellectual with you, why would you date somebody who doesn't even know what the word literature means? Like, what? Why would you date somebody who doesn't like the fine arts? Why would you date somebody who doesn't understand symphony? If you're an intellectual, why would you date somebody who doesn't like to read? Who doesn't, pique you in that fashion? Why would you? You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Some things are standards and some things are negotiables. But I feel like and you're not going to have the same interest as people. But when it comes to things that make you, really create a bond with somebody, those need to be things that you think about as substance for your dating. And if you're not thinking about that, I hope that Tough Conversations podcast has made you think about that. We keeping it real this season, y'all. I'm not playing. I understand what it's like to have not even thought about these things. And a lot of these things that I'm bringing up in this podcast episode is things that even I surprised myself, because I was like, dang, I was not thinking about that when I was dating. I was not thinking about that stuff in the dating phase. I was so concerned with other things that don't even matter when, the things that I'm hitting on this episode and throughout this season are what matter. And like I said, when we get further into this season, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, because dating deserves a few episodes. Relationships deserve a few episodes. And being somewhere in between definitely deserves some episodes, because let me tell you, a lot of y'all are out here somewhere in between. Still getting sucked into the situationships. Still getting sucked into the lack of commitment. And sometimes there's a lack of commitment for certain reasons, but you got to understand where you fit it in those reasons and why maybe you're not, in the right place to be in a relationship or to even be dating. So I truly, truly hope that y'all stick around with me throughout the rest of the season. I know this episode was kind of a little bit shorter than what I'm usually doing because usually my episodes is like an hour or some hour long, but I just kind of wanted to give y'all a taste of what you have to look forward to for the rest of the second season of Tough Conversations podcast, because believe you me, we're going to get into some conversations, some tough conversations, and we're going to keep it real. I can't wait to have the live episode so that way you guys are able to give me y'all opinions about this. And please, give me y'all opinions about how y'all feel about the things that I've discussed. I won't take nothing to heart, none of that. Please let me know what y'all think as it concerns this first episode of season 2 of Tough Conversation podcast. Family, listen, it's been a great time talking with y'all and being able to give y'all my opinion on today's topic. Once again, I want to send a special thank you to all the guests and to all the listeners out there who joined us for the first season and are coming back into the second season. I really, really can't thank y'all enough. Thank y'all so much because y'all make this possible. Like I said, I don't get paid to podcast because I do this for me and I do this for y'all, and I want to give the people a voice. So that's why I encourage y'all to give me y'all feedback so I can put y'all feedback on the podcast. And I look forward to having all the guests back and having you guys back in season 2. And don't forget to follow the page Tough Talk _PDT. I can't talk today. Tough Talk _PDT on Instagram to voice your opinions, to check out the posts, to check out the topics that we have going on, and to hear more details about the guests that are going to be popping on throughout the season. And make sure you stay tuned to that Instagram too, so that way you can figure out, or you'll know what day that I'm doing the live episode, so that way you can come in and join the conversation. I might even let you hop on the Instagram live and say your piece about the topic of that day. So don't delay. Be on the way. Thank y'all again for tuning into the podcast. And until next time, as I always say, we is out of here. Let's go.